guys, I'm Layla. Welcome to Raidlore Stories. So today's story is going to be for Deacon Armstrong. Really excited he gets a story. I think he's one of my favorite epics in this game, so I can't wait to see what Raid has done for his backstory. So we're going to read this together. Willem Armstrong was born into a Cherokee family of noble repute, but while his parents assumed he would follow in their footsteps as a knight of the realm, he showed a different inclination. As a child, Willem found the greatest pleasure in listening to the stories told by the family's Lumayan priest, Halmar. Halmar told Willem stories of the goddess of light, regaling him with fantastical stories about the dances of creation and the righteous wars against the goddess's treacherous once-suitor, Sirath, the shadow god. As a young student, Willem enjoyed penning thoughts inspired by Halmar's stories and gave impromptu sermons to bemused classmates in his schoolyard. Halmar rejoiced that his charge seemed to have found a calling, and while Willem's parents were not gladdened by the realization that their son would not follow in his father's footsteps, they were devout people, and in time rejoiced that their son was embracing the worship of Lamaya so wholeheartedly. Halmar introduced Willem to the Sacred Order, who accepted him into their ranks. Willem immediately found himself at home among the holy organization's firebrands, and became apprenticed to the infamous Deacon Malin, a ferocious old sermonizer who harbored a deep hatred of non-humans, even for a senior member of the Order. According to his tenets, Lumea had chosen humanity as her divine instrument, and it was their destiny to one day rule all of Teleria. While Armstrong never went as far as Malin publicly, as a zealot's favorite acolyte, it was difficult to imagine his views substantially differed. While preaching was Armstrong's first calling, he also found battle to be a natural outlet for the zealotry that had become part of every facet of his life. He was always the first to volunteer when the Sacred Order sent its dedicated knights and warriors to hunt down the forces of darkness, and when he returned, his mace was caked in gore. Willem proudly scorned every wound and injury he suffered at the hands of the unrighteous, seeing them as evidence of the strength of his faith and claiming that surviving his injuries only made him more certain of his own cause as well as Lumea's protection. As the years wore on, Malin became too decrepit to preach in public. Armstrong acted as his voice, his booming orations doing the old deacon proud. When Malin passed away, it was Armstrong who delivered the final address to the crowds of faithful mourners at the man's funeral. Soon afterwards, Willem was promoted to Malin's former role. Deacon Armstrong remains a potent force within the Sacred Order. His sermons are famous and draw great crowds from across Anhel and beyond. The speeches follow the same pattern, reminding listeners of their sin, whipping them to a frenzy, then claiming that their displays of devotion are proof that Lumea's light still burns within, and that with prayer and donations it can blaze anew. Some state that Armstrong is a dangerous radical trying to upset the delicate political balance of Anhel, though few within the Sacred Order would ever dream of reprimanding such a stout proponent of their beliefs. Others think him a hypocrite who does not truly believe what he preaches, but there will be no clemency for any who make such a claim in the deacon's presence. Even with his years now advancing, any non-believer struck by a blow from Armstrong is unlikely to survive long enough to receive a second. Okay, I gotta admit, that probably wasn't the story I was thinking. Initially when they first started it, I thought that, I don't know, they were gonna kind of make him a hero who tries to break apart from the faith and the church, and it almost seems like he becomes one of those almost doomsday kind of cultists in some ways, and they call him a radical. So guys, I'm curious what you think for the lore story for Deacon. Drop me some comments down below, and thanks for watching.